from the new self who is being created, to a true knowledge according to the image of the one who created it. The people who walk darkness will see a great light. Those who live in a dark land, the light will shine on them.
God's promise, 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 promise. God's promise, 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 promise. God's mind is my mind is light. I'm in always reflecting His light. Always I acknowledge, no knowledge, no courage. Ooh, God, you promised that great day will come. Yes, God, you promised that I will see my son. You promised that He is by your side, and nothing can separate this love inside. No masters, no doctors can prescribe ways in my calling. Only His ways, oh ancient to days, can correct. He reflects the path I acknowledge. God's promise, 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 promise. 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 Put him in yourself who is being created, to a true knowledge according to the image of the one who created it. The people who walk in darkness will see a great light. Those who live in a dark land, the light will shine on them.
You mean to tell me all this time I've been talking? That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. Let's start over. Let's start over. That's how I'm gonna do that. Let's start over. I had this plan. I had this plan. And then I said, my mind is God's mind. I'm always reflecting divine wisdom and divine intelligence. My brain symbolizes the capacity to think wisely and spiritually. God's ideas unfold within my mind in perfect sequence. So perfect because I was created before the foundations of all this that exists right now. I was with God. You know why? Because the Bible tells me so. The perfect solution before my mother's womb. That he so strategically created and wove together so I could pass through before the sack of whoever my father is. All this is what I said while I was muted. Before the sack of whoever my daddy father is, whoever he is, he had the perfect solution within my DNA, not no saline solution, not none of all this stuff, them iron solutions that they try to pump me with because of my allergies to iron, huh? None of that. He came in light code and said and reminded me that I am the light, huh? He said, look, I'm going to leave you an example. And yeah, I did good and I did great, but you'll do greater. Because you are literally going to remember and you're going to be a light to those who are lost, those who are in darkness. You're going to help to remind them of who they are. You might only get 2 or 3 to do it for, but it's 144,000 of you that have to do it, I could go and read stories from the holy tablets about who they say who and who what is, and some of it I could agree and some I could disagree. I don't know. That stuff was written before I got here, including them holy tablets. The holy tablets was written before I got here. But I could tell you for sure, one thing for sure, and 2 things for certain, uh, that I came through light into this flesh after this flesh had already existed. And when I landed in this flesh, which this flesh was born 1972, when I landed in this flesh 1976, all this stuff was already here. Uh, it's some people that don't believe in God. I'm going to tell y'all everything I said while I was muted. Some people say they don't believe in God, but they're the same beings that would tell you, get you a bottle of water and put it on under your bed to ward off the witches, or we're going to make you some noble holy oils, They won't put holy in it. We're going to make you some noble oils to help you rid off evil spirits. What is evil spirits if you don't believe in God and the devil? Them same people this day that don't believe in God, they call themselves native to the land and indigenous and stuff. I guarantee you, them same people used to be in the bed at night, and they mamas used to have to come with the Bible and also whatever ancient warding off spirits to tell them the witches riding them, I never experienced that. I don't know what it is, but I've heard people say that they had the witch riding them, Where the witches came from if there ain't no God and no devil, What is those? Them same ones who don't believe in God today, that they had so many traumatic spiritual experiences that they just don't want to believe. They said, I need a blank, clean slate. Them same ones don't believe in God is the same ones that get on they stream and tell you, we talking to Oshun and Osa and all these different deities and gods and stuff, Namaste and Shamaste and all that vile, vulgar deities. They'll tell you we listening in communion with them, and they told us that if you take some water and you take your sage and you get this root and that root to ward off evil spirits of God, those who believe in Christ, That's what they'll get up there and tell you. So who are these evil spirits and witches and demons? Who are they under if you got to ward them off? If you have the ability to use something to ward off something you don't believe in, you don't have to believe in it. I tell you, let me tell you something about the government. Let me tell you something about the government. The government knows for a fact that Jesus was on this side of the earth, the old earth, was over here having communion 12,000 years ago. No. See, the land where I'm from, the land that was here before I got here, but when I was able to go and play in the land, the ancestors that would sing these songs in churches, our church, would sing songs about Jesus having communion 10,000 to 12,000 years ago. Now you hear these beings in these communities that'll tell you, well, man didn't wasn't able to communicate with literature until 6,000 years ago, and that's not true. 6,000 years ago is when they were able to decipher our heavenly language. Because according to my ancestral line, Jesus was drinking wine and having communion 12,000 years ago. I can't stand. I went over to one of the people, let me turn this off. One of the creators that I like to listen to every now and then. And he probably still live right now. And I just got so discouraged hearing them with their misinformation, information given to them, handed down, because they're not getting the information straight from their bloodline, from the light code that's within them, because they don't want to believe in that light code that's within them. Huh? That 1780 and 1800s and 1600s, when they grandmothers was singing songs like this: drinking of the wine, 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 drinking of the wine, oh my Lord, you should have been there 10,000 years. Drinking of the wine, oh, drinking of the wine, 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 drinking of the wine, oh my Lord, you should have been there 10,000 years. Drinking of the wine, meaning 10,000 years ago is when Jesus had that communion. So 2,000 years before that, huh? He was just over here roaming from coast to coast. Everybody got along. There wasn't no problems. There wasn't no issues. All of Bahamas, that means Florida, South Carolina, all the way down, huh? All of that was one territory. Cuba was connected to Florida, which was Bahamas. The pyramids that stood on Bahamas and the pyramids that stood near Lake Okeechobee. All the pyramids that were up and down the coast. Haiti was not separate. Haiti was connected. Until they went and drenched out and blew up and all the things that they did less than 6,000 years ago. But you have people who they so still stuck on the information, but then they won't go to the source of where they're getting this information from, current, up to date, that they're telling you existed on this plane 12,000 years ago. The government of the United States. They using codes, letting you know, just the same way they did the little sacrifice for the Gullah Geechees. They go into the source. They go into the source of the bloodline of the lines of Judah, where the land right here is the lions before they start splicing them when they took them over to the museum side. The lions were all black maned. No, you don't believe me. If my mother should ask for me, tell her the light done set me free. Should have been there 10,000 years, drinking of the wine, oh, drinking of the wine, 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 drinking of the wine, oh my Lord. You should have been there 10,000 years, drinking of the wine. So 6,000 years, less than 6,000 years ago, they finally was able to decipher. Because, you know, if Christopher Columbus took beings from one part of the land that had a problem with how much gold was on one side of the land, the jealous ones, and took them on boats to come down to the Bahamas to tell and snitch. You know, he took them all the way back over home with them so that they could help build their stories over there and help decipher. They didn't speak our language. They didn't speak the heavenly language. So that's why you have them being able to write things 1500, 1700, because they finally was able to translate. Hmm? But even in this document I'm going to show you, there's a code there that says the Bible lickies. The Bible lickies. Or say the Bible leckies. The Bible leckies. Where they're using code to let you know they ready to scalp y'all. Scalp you how? Remember, I showed you a document just a couple of days ago, huh? That they're gonna go in. They said they need to put your brain cells, samples of everybody's brain cells. Those who are gonna accept the mark of the beast, they need to put samples of your brain cells inside their neurobiobank. That's what the government is saying. They saying that. I'm not making this up. I'm almost so certain that half of these people, these creators that are through the community, they work for the government. They are government employees, meaning they are right. They want to accept the mark of the beast, and they want to make sure they get as many people persuaded to. Because the things that the government is telling you, and they rather go in these old books written by government employees that wrote these books, instead of going to the government site that shows you the stuff that they say they're going to do and what they're doing and what their plans are. You can't tell me half of these people. I know they are. I know they are, with no doubt about it. With no doubt about it. Hmm. It's only a handful that I truly believe. Even I'll say his name loud and clear. Red Squid X, government agent. Because why he got to go over to London McLovin and disguise his voice? I was at London McLovin the other day listening, and the whole time I said, and I put it in the London McLovin's comment section, but it kept doing that rewind thing. What you call it? Spinning. It had a little spinning thing. It wouldn't allow my comment to go into the comment section. Like somebody done blocked me out of London McLovin's comment section. Well, the rebuttal bar. Because I sure did. I said, wait a minute, am I the only one who hear the octave tone? That's Red Squid X talking like that. That's Red Squid X. Hmm? It's only certain words that he used that you don't hear other people use. And no matter how he disguised his voice, his little laugh, that little evil that he does comes out in between. Mm. It's a few people I know for a fact they I guess so. They don't deny it. They say they're patriots. I saw him wearing his dog tag. I know for a fact anybody against me, anybody got a problem with me, and that's practically the whole community. Anybody got a problem with me, they're government agents. uh, Including young elder. He a government agent, y'all. When they've been in and out of the system, in and out of the system, they'll be agents and don't even realize that they're agents. For sure. And you know how I can say that, what's his name? Young elder get on and talk about everything, but he won't show you these documents in the government, federal registered government, because they want y'all to be in that type of frame of mind. Is it real or is it not? Because when Rod Hayes was on his show the other day and Rod Hayes asked him to pull up the government, go to the government site, and that's like the third time that done happened. He could pull up everything else, but when it come to going to the federal government sites, he won't go there because that's too much like being right and exact. That's the word that gave you away. Red Squid X. Right and exact. It's a couple of other things, but when I heard, I said, no matter how this man disguised his voice, I know that's him. And they roll with a pack. It's a pack. It's a pack. Why are you saying this, Grandma? Because again, the whole goal to awaken everyone is for everyone that is asleep to go and see exactly what the government is saying that they're doing to the people. They about to blow up another bridge. They about to blow up a bridge in New York. They use the word um, blast, but use the terms as if it's they're about to put paint on it. It's in the federal registered government under their rules and regulations. Some of the rules that come out, they speak it as clear as day, and others they beat around the bush and use code because they have to speak the for the ones that they're using the spiritual binding on. They work on three levels. They work on the level for the mind, the body, and the soul. They're purchasing for those that they purchase. under the American Chips Act law, where they're purchasing Americans, and Americans is every um, piece of land on this side, the old earth, except for I think three countries that are not in the OAS. And that's why they're sanctioned. Venezuela is one of the countries that is not bound to the American Chips Act. Um, and two more. It might be a little bit more than that. But under the Chips Act law, where you're a patient of the United States, when they actually stamp you to purchase you, their stamp act and their purchasing through the Chips Act law, and that you will be bound would be bound your mind, body, and soul. Now, then there are those who are through the heavenly contracts or the biblical contracts that they can't own our light. They're putting out signals in the Federal Register and in their rules, letting the other countries know that we are a threat. We're still a threat to them. I'm not making this up. Now today, what I'm gonna do, because I already did some hours earlier, and I'm gonna do some more preparation hours. So I don't plan on staying on here long, but then maybe I do want to eat up the last little couple of minutes or hours that I have on here. But I'm gonna read from the Holy Tablets today, and I'm gonna read from the Living Soul. I first was at the disagreeableness under repentance and all that, and I said, see, but if I go here, I'd have to go further back, and if I go further back, then they'll be saying, well, she says she's a Nephilim, and I said I have three blood types in me, and that's not to offer no 23andMe DNA tests like those who like to try to throw off. That's from me, from my blood type being experimented on since I was 12 years old. They knew I was born with the sickle cell trait, but it wasn't um when my condition got bad, where I kept getting back to back blood transfusions in the year 2010. 2010, I had to keep getting back to back blood transfusions, and when they literally broke down all of my blood, that's where I found out. And 23andMe wasn't in existence then that I know about. And from that point, when they said that I have alpha thalassemia, and I was diagnosed with alpha thalassemia before the first blood transfusion. And that is why the blood transfusions began. The allergies to iron is something. You have children that they'll go weeks. I was one of them children. I can go a whole week without a bowel movement, and it bothered my family so, but my body had gotten used to the toxins. And the year that I got diagnosed with alpha thalassemia is because I started a regimen. I used to go to the Smoothie King. If anybody know what a Smoothie King is in Florida, that's a place where you get great, healthy, supposedly shakes with different shots of different types of vitamins and things like that. And I was going to the gym every day, which my body and my hemoglobin level, it didn't agree. It didn't agree. It didn't agree with me. So that's how I know I have three different blood types. And the whole purpose of me saying that is, if somebody is to say, well, you're because of things that they say about the heritage and line of the Nephilers or Nephilim, then hey, so be it. And then I have the bullseye blood shape, and then I have the regular platelet, but the regular platelet and the sickle shaped blood. So the three different blood types has nothing to do with me going to 23andMe and finding that out. So right at the coast of Mercy Hospital. And I'm almost so certain if they were to go and pull up the bones of my son out of Old Lady of Mercy, that's where they put him, right there where Jackie Gleason at. If they were to go pull up my son and extract the DNA from his bone marrow, all right. So here we go. Let me show you this document so I can get it on over with. Let me show you this document. Let me put on my glasses. Let's put on the glasses. As a matter of fact, I want to do it like this today. I want to stay up here while this is on here. And let me make this a little larger so you can read it right along with me. This is the information where they're speaking in code. Right here. So let me tell you about the oak emojis. The oak emojis. The plant species from the Georgia, South Carolina, the Bahama lands. Over here where Jesus was having communion 10,000 years ago, 12,000 years ago. They know that you were over here more than 10,000 years ago. So here's the code. Look at the code. The code is they want your skulls. The last time they supposedly in history did skull capping was when? I'm not going to go in that history. I want to talk about right now. So what intrigued me more of anything was the term okemulji or ukmulji or ukma, the gi cheese. See, that's the gi. Up, mu, gi. The term oki, muiki means bubbling water. Now, see the year that they have here? This Species Act in 1973. Whatever happened in 1972? In 1973, they had to remind the government. See this word right here? This is where I said, even though it's a place, look how they got it. Behind the acreage or the hectares. As a matter of fact, let me see if that says 2,696 in acreage. Let's see where 1,500 miles in dimension. 1500. When the angel with the golden measuring stick. When the angel with the golden measuring stick. Yeah, that's say 1500. So it's just about literally, literally is just about, oh my goodness. Let's see, said the blind man. Let's see, said the blind man. Literally, just off 661 acres, this area that they're talking about. Okay, so I'm referring to Revelations 21. Revelations 21 says, the angel held in his hand a golden measuring stick to measure the city and its gates walls. When he measured it, he found it was a square as wide as it was long. In fact, it was the form of a cube, for its height was exactly the same as its other dimensions, 1,500 miles each way. Then he measured the thickness of the walls and found them to be 216 feet across. The angel called out these measurements to me using standard units. Now, there's another document in here about Asheville. And the document that's referring to Asheville speaks about, it's called, what is it called? I think it said not a memorial hospital. I think I wrote it down somewhere. Something about hospitals in the air, meaning they need to find a faster way to get the people down in the holes. But it has to do with NASA. And remember, I told you Elon Musk can't get his rockets past 6 miles. And then I showed you another document that they were saying about the stratosphere. But remember, I also said that Asheville was the portal. So they used the sacrifice in that hole. They did the mass sacrifice in that hole. But that hole is actually a portal. And then the recent document that speaks about Asheville speaks about going past 7 miles, going past the 6 mile mark right there at that hole, that earth that opened up, that swallowed the water that was meant to take out the woman and who had bore the son that the devil killed. No? Okay. All right. Well, anyways, back to this cover up that they got here. After they made the sacrifice of the Gullah Geechees, after they made the sacrifice, they coming back for more. And they're using their Bible codes. See this? Bible. Now, what's a Lecky? I typed in Lecky. I said, well, let me see. That's the code straight up. They ain't coding the word Bible, but they sure. What is a Lecky? And a Lecky is, let me read you what a Lecky is. Mac Lease is the son of the lazy one. It started a nickname for lazy. And then it's also a Gaelic word meaning flagstone or place. So this word right here could actually mean the place of the Bible. Now, y'all know they call South Carolina the Bible Belt. But here, where they're using their codes. Now, let me read you a little bit about Uk, the Muats, the Muas, the Okmulgis, the Okmulgis. Let's talk about their mound. The Okmulgee Mounds National Historic Park in Macon, Georgia, is the site of immense historical and cultural significance, showcasing over 12,000 years of continuous human habitation. 12,000 years of continuous human habitation. So there are mounds there from 12,000 years ago that the United States government right now is confirming in this code right here, in their codex, in their tablet. The Mississippian culture and the Creek Nation of the Muskogee, because they could say Miccosukee all they want to, it's Mu. That's why the Mua, the Muikugi. That's why the Gullah Gi. The site later became the hub for the Muskogee Creek Nation, consisting of around 60 villages, but it was continuous. There was no time that they broke off and then started. It was continuous. The Mississippian culture around 900 CE, the Mississippian culture emerged known for constructing large earthen mounds used for ceremonial and elite residential purposes. Elite. Then it goes into the Great Temple Mounds and the Earth Lodge. And all of this information about these beings, where I told you Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, Haiti, Cuba, all of that was together. There was an earth, what you call it, a volcano at one point. Bahamas is on, you wouldn't even think or have it in your mind to know unless you studied oceanography and like things like that. But out of all them National Geographic books that my grandmother, my stepfather's mother, used to get from the rich white people that she used to clean house for, and bring us those books home when they were going to discard them and throw them away, and she collected them for us. I loved National Geographic magazine growing up. That and Reader's Digest. Reader's Digest. I got Reader's Digest from the mother of one of those people who were um, I ain't gonna talk about them because that just bring up like I'm clout chasing and I'm not. That he over there in California used to be one of the stars on the pawn show, that pawn shop show. His mother used to give my grandmother the Reader's Digest, all of her Reader's Digest and stuff that she would get rid of, and old books and stuff that she, or his collection of books. I ended up getting his collection of the Nancy Drew Hardy Boys mystery books. I'm not gonna say his name though. But he over there somewhere in California with all his millions of dollars. And my grandmother still has his picture in our photo albums from all the years of him growing up, him and my grandmother, they were best friends in a way. The Gottliebs. Anyways, why did I bring that up? Because I learned in a young age that Florida was near or on a volcano and near fault. Now, a lot of the separation that happened with Florida and Georgia, and Florida, Bahamas, and Haiti and Cuba and all of the keys, the islands, that separation, a lot of it came through drenching, silver engineering programs too. But back to it. So here where the government knows that Jesus was drinking of the wine 12,000 years ago, but you have people still debating about 1700s and 1800s and 1600s seems like a problem to me. It just seems like something ain't right and they want y'all to be left behind. Uh, wonder how much they get for each head count. Uh, let's go down and see what they have to say about they scientific research and educational purposes and urbanization. You mean to tell me they urbanizing fish? They urbanizing fish, huh? The secretary want to make sure the fish get urbanized. Do you see the holy city, the measurements of the holy city? You don't see the measurements. 10 counties to be exact. 10 counties in Georgia and 2 counties in South Carolina. What does this document have to do with the original? Huh? Look, y'all, what? Savannah River Bluffs, huh? Robbins Air Force Base. Rockin' Robin, tweet, making telegraph newspapers. They say we talking about trees. Okay. They want to skull cap you. We taking care of the deers and we want to make sure the deers and the trees uh they are a threat. You see, see how they highlight threat. See, we use the term threat to refer to general actions or conditions that are known to or reasonably likely to negatively affect individuals of a species. Individuals of a species, the term threat includes actions or conditions that have direct impact on individuals, direct impacts, as well as those that affect individuals through alteration of their habitat or required resources, stressors. They say the deers and the trees are under stress, huh? In determining whether the species meets either definition, must evaluate all identified threats by considering the species' expected response and effects of the threats in light of those actions and conditions that ameliorate the threats on an individual population and species level. And light, they use the word light in here 2 or 3 times. All we consider the cumulative effect of the threats in light of those actions and conditions. Threatened species cumulative analysis implementing foreseeable future. Like I said, I'm so beyond doing the convincing, and I'm not even bothered anymore by anybody that won't listen, because those who know will know, and those who don't will God got control of all of it. Uh, Look, they put every kind of native, the 12 tribes right here in this sentence. They put the 12 tribes right here. They say it influences. Look at this. They got the Chinese, the olives, that's the Greeks, huh? The Japanese, everybody that was bloodline got came over and joined. The herbivores, they got the carnivores, the Montanians. Uh, look, the doe deers. Look at that. I'm just telling you, don't believe you don't you I know ain't nobody gonna believe me. Ain't nobody believe just like they didn't believe me when I said, look, they about to do something over there in South Carolina. Go look. Go look. And then when it happened, it's like, look, I didn't have to say I told you so. The government said that they was gonna do something. The government showed that they done did that National Oceanic and Atmospheric then went over there, said the stuff ain't right, and then they gonna make all them people get on the bridge, on the gangway. Huh? And they come talking about a sad story, talking about they hearts go out when they just finished having a fish society meeting, knowing that they put a fake document saying, well, we won't take care of it. They put a document out on April 1st. According to the Federal Register.gov now, April 1st, they put a document out. The people of the fishing society, the high society, they said, yeah, we'll take care of it. But they put that document out on April 1st, 2024. And here's a blueprint of how we going to take care of it. And they never took care of it. Huh? Ooh, look, that's just like this right here. I'm showing you. They saying they about to take heads because they know they're not gonna be able to just come and stick nothing up. The ones who know better, look at this: sunlight, water, and space. This non-native invasive species, when present, compete with Okmulgee skullcap plant for required resources include sunlight, water, and space. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. They got the colors. If you was an orange bean, if you a periwinkle or the kudzus. Uh, I want to sit down and literally break all this down. The senses. I really want to break this down. The umbrellas. That's what you call it. Trinidad them. Look at that. The L Agnes. Agnes of God. Look at it. They say they is taking up water, sunlight, and oil. Oh, it says soil. Ooh, flooding events. They talking about another flooding events. Uh-oh, climate change. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. So here's two things today, two areas. Uh-oh. It's gonna get real cold, y'all. They predicting the cold here too. They predicting how cold it's gonna get for the winter in this document. So how many people they trying to get rid of in this document? Ooh, ooh. See, these the documents here where they say, well, we not gonna give you reparations, but we gonna sure show you that we gonna get rid of you. We coming for your skull. 40 to 59. two clusters of individuals will be impacted. They talking about deer, but they not talking about deer, y'all. I told you that before. They really truly talking about individuals, the heritage of the people. And that's why they had to specify this is the ones where they're talking in code, because they know they're not dealing with flesh, they're dealing with the spirituality of the matter. When Jesus was over here drinking wine 12,000 years ago, he should have been there 10,000 years, drinking of the wine, drinking of the wine, wine, wine. They talking about the landowners, drinking the biological features. Wine, oh my Lord, you should have been there 10. They don't put out so many different documents for the 31st, between the 31st and the 5th. Between the 31st and the 5th. Invasive encroaching plants, carbonate clay rock, Piedmont. I used to love Piedmont Park. Used to love to hang out at Piedmont. So, hey, something crossed my mind earlier. I know there's a few people in the community. I'm not going to say no name. One of them may not get this message because they locked up. I want to say, I remember you. I remember your hue. I remember you. You used to roll with Coach Knight in Atlanta, and y'all used to call yourselves the Night Rider. Y'all used to call yourselves the Night Riders. Do you remember me now? Huh? When by the time this message gets to the being who I'm talking to directly, they will be released. They'll be released. Huh? Or you always knew who I was, or you can't remember, but you'll remember now. There was a crew of y'all that rode with Coach Knight. And there was a rumor that Coach Knight was something like Puff Daddy. Huh? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Uh, anybody can relate. Uh, the Night Riders. I should get off of here because I ain't doing that. I ain't talking about nothing. I ain't talking about nothing. Let me go ahead. Should I read this? Y'all, this document is an important document, but it ain't gonna change nothing because it, it ain't gonna change nothing that the government put in here. What's to be done is gonna happen. Whatever's to be will be. My prayer is that people will be born again. They're not going to fall for all of this okie dokie thing that the government got going on, huh? Because they really, on both sides, they intend to purchase you. It's not just written in scripture. Scripture so many years ago, our ancestors left codes and they took the codes, burnt them, destroyed them. And then the ones that they wanted to trick us and fool us to make us forget who we were, but didn't realize that there were codes put in to help us to remember, because it's in our bloodline. It's in our DNA that you are a light being. You are a native, and they know you're a light being, huh? Because they want to buy your light. Mm. Those who are connected to the land and more connected to the land than they are connected to heaven. Even the phones, there's a discrepancy in the phones. The phones can't really read their light. That's been put inside their documents too, Federal Register documents. under the Alien Nation revisions. So let me go ahead and read a little bit to you. Let me read. You should have been there 10,000 years drinking of the. What time is it? Because boy, time went by so fast. I need to get off of here because I want to go get some more hours in. Where was I going to read from? You know what? I don't want to read right now. I could change my mind. I could change. Don't tell me that. I could change my mind. I don't want to read right now. I don't want to read right now. I want to come back later. Yeah, I'll be back later. Greater light. You should have been there 10,000 years. Drinking of the wine. Wine. Drinking of the wine, oh my Lord. You should have been there 10,000 years. Drinking of the wine. Hold up, here we go.
It's like new what? Who knew light speed? Wanna get back to like shockers? New what? Who? I'm a face rising.
Man lives in the sunlit world of what he believes to be reality. But there is, unseen by most, an underworld, a place that is just as real, but not as brightly lit. A dark side.
High, low, in grace. We don't see you ghosts, we don't get stuck in graves. We praise. High,
low, we embrace. We don't see you ghosts, we don't get stuck in graves. So you say, we embrace. High, low, we embrace. We don't see you ghosts, we don't get stuck in graves. We praise up out of your toes, we born again, so you are saved. You the light, we know how, we don't growl. Like the moon in the night, new what boo, no creepy crawlers. I mean walkers, no transport, anti-guided flights. New what boo, new light speed, one again, back to like shockers. New what boo, MFA's rising, sun spooky nightmare blockers. Rah rah, your screeching can't scare us. Rah rah, this is the call of the sun. Rah rah, your moaning does not scare us. Rah rah, this is the call of the sun.
On your Halloween.
We praise. High, low, we embrace. We don't see you ghosts, we don't get stuck in graves. So you say, we praise. High, low, we embrace. We don't see you ghosts, we don't get stuck in graves. We praise. Praise up out of your tombs, we born again, so you are saved. You the light, we don't howl, we don't growl. Like the moon in the night, new what boo, no creepy crawlers. Zombie walkers, no transport, anti-guided flights. New what boo, new light speed, born again, back to light doctors. New what boo, MFA's rising, sun spooky nightmare blockers. Rah rah, your screeching can't scare us. Rah rah, this is the call of the sun. Rah rah, your moaning does not scare us. Rah rah, this is the call of the sun.
On your Halloween.